Hey, what is going on everybody, and welcome to Fantasia. For today, we're going to be jumping into another session of Epic 7 out today. Got some more balance adjustment showcases for you guys. This time around, we're going to be focusing our attention on the one, the only, Jenua. And like Aki, he received some minor tweaks to his kit, but we'll see if those minor tweaks end up resulting in some major impacts in terms of his gameplay, right? My current Jenua here is plus 15 in terms of his skill set. Any damage dealer you want to have max molas on just to make sure you're getting as much damage as possible on them. And unfortunately, I don't really have too many memory imprints on him, so just the one for the crit chance. But if I can get him to triple S, that can actually save me quite a few rolls for some additional damage, but you'll see my build in just a second. What Jenua does now is he actually gains an attack buff before he attacks with his skill 1, which is really nice because you can soul burn it for a greater attack buff, and this will actually help his damage tremendously, right? The other thing that was changed is that his skill 3, now instead of healing his HP based on his attack stat, like proportional to his attack, it's actually going to absorb HP based on the amount of damage that is dealt. And that is huge because Jenua does so much damage, it's actually unbelievable. This should, in theory, heal him back up to full health every time he uses this attack, right? And the other thing that they added was that he now inflicts extinction, so another way to deal with units like Arbiter Vildred, for example, or other revive units. And as long as your opponent's not using something that has defense penetration resistance, then you should be one-shotting most things in the game, which is kind of cool. But here's the Jenua build that I currently am using. It's a Destruction Torrent set build, and I know you're probably looking at this like, Azza, your stats don't look that great, and I know they don't, but that's because I'm rocking some effect resistance on him, and I'll explain why kind of later on. But we are currently running Wind Rider on him for the additional 20% attack, and the fact that he can stealth himself is really, really nice. And we can see here his gear is actually relatively decent, right, in terms of the gear score. Average equipment score is about 96 here. We have a couple pieces over 100, or one piece over 100. But yeah, the reason I have effect resistance here, the reason I decided to go with it, is while he does need attack, crit, and crit damage and some speed, he doesn't really need bulk at all. Maybe things will change with this new buff. Maybe he actually does want bulk to survive like certain hits and stuff, but I think it's really good to have effect resistance on him to make sure he can't get controlled. Your opponent's not gonna have a random stun that's gonna inflict your opponent's not going to have a random stun that kind of takes him out of the turn, right? Cheats him out of a turn or anything. Your opponent's not going to have a random skill from some DPS unit or from some random Soul Weaver that's going to strip his buffs, like his immortality, right? And make it easy for the opponent to finish him off. So as long as your opponent doesn't have a really reliable way of getting rid of his immortality, then you should be guaranteed another turn, which means that you'll be taking out another unit. So that's kind of the theory behind the build here. We'll see if this is enough damage in practice. He does give himself a greater attack buff and stuff, so you don't need the most amount of attack in the world here. Obviously, if you're running an attack ring, you're going to be dealing even more damage, but we'll see if the utility of effect resistance pulls through in the end when we do some of our testing. Alright guys, so we're going to be jumping into our first match over here, going up against this degenerate Lady of the Scales Notos and Arbiter Vildred team. There's a Perfumer Bibulus on the other side as well. Then I don't know what she's really going to offer too much to the team besides just a lot more bulkiness, and maybe that's the whole point of it, right? Just for bulkiness, and maybe if you're trying to cleave them, some damage reflection, which is going to be a little bit annoying because we can't really one-shot too many of their units. There's evasion on Arbiter Vildred, and Notos is pretty tanky, but there is damage sharing going on with this Lady of the Scales, right? So what we're going to do in this fight is we're going to bring in RNL. We're going to try to proc this, whoever's in the front line is probably not going to be Lady of the Scales, because currently the teams are scrambled. I'm in Emperor Arena right now. So we'll be taking out whoever's in the front line here, and then hopefully Faithless Litica can come in afterwards and reset this Notos. And we also have Seafan and Politis here to give our Jenua the Rage buff, and we'll see how far that carries us. I'm not really sure if this is gonna work out. but it's worth a shot. It's going to hopefully take Notos out of the fight so we don't have to worry too much about him. But let's hope that we strip the Perfume Bibulus here, because if we don't, we're going to be in some big trouble. There we go. Nice defense break and bind as well, so she cannot cleanse herself. Let's go for a skill 3. A little bit risky because I don't want the Arbiter Vildred to counter us, but we do what we must. If we get a fear on the Lady of the Scales, that'd be great. We do not. Okay, we also don't get rid of the immortality there, so that's fine. We're going to go for a skill 2. See if we can strip the immortality there. Fantastic, we did. I am gonna go for a skill 3 onto this Notos then. I think we'll be fine. Arbiter Vildred gets pushed up how much? 25% combat readiness, so he'll be 97%. ML Politis is gonna go. That is beautiful. So let's go for... I could reset the Lady of the Scales, but I feel like Notos is gonna be a bit of a problem, right? The alternative would be Jenua takes out the Notos first. We could do that, actually. Could probably do that if we stop the Lady of the Scales here. If we stop the Lady of the Scales here, the damage share takes care of the Bibulus. Yeah, we can do that. Let's go for it. We'll Soul Burn to reset the Lady of the Scales. I think this actually works out a little bit better, because Perfume Bibulus goes down, right? Lady of the Scales can't do anything. She's just going to skill 1. And we have a skill 3 here that we can use. This will give the Jenua the rage buff. We also already have 10 souls for Jenua to Soul Burn with. And at this point, I don't really care about the Arbiter Vildred, right? Gonna Soul Burn this, and now here's the thing, guys. We get a greater attack buff before we attack, which means this is gonna deal a ton of damage. Oh, look at that already. That's a Proof of Valor Notos, by the way. Does this finish him off? It does not finish him off. Okay, we're... maybe in a little bit of trouble now. Maybe that wasn't the way to go. That's a bit of an issue. Alright, somehow Jenua comes in with a skill 1 there. Yeah, wow, was not expecting that Lingering Fragrance Proof of Valor Notos, but even then, he is relatively weak now with his max HP. Let's just go ahead and skill 1 here. That is not what I wanted. Okay, but he is... because he's Proof of Valor, he's not on Holy Sacrifice, so that's fine. Forgot Flitwick actually dual attacks with a random ally there. Alright, but yeah, there we go. Jenua's gonna get hit, but look at that. He's getting the debuffs kind of thrown back from the RB, which ignores res. Not a good demonstration of the resistance here on Jenua, but we were low enough that we can come in here with the... do I? No, you know what? Let's do it. Okay, there we go. Beautiful. And then the skill 2 comes in, and extinction. So kind of a weird little, kind of a weird interaction, I'll be honest, but it is my first time taking Jenua for a spin since he got buffed. Hopefully we'll do better in the next ones. Okay guys, I have to try this team once again because we're finding another Harseti defense team. So I love the young Senya with Saria here. It's just going to be such a fun little experiment to run again. But Saria gives everyone invincibility and attack buff, so we should be safe against our opponents. For the most part. Flitica is over here because she will get pushed up by the young Senya when she takes an extra turn, so she can reset the Notos. We have a shot here for that. And yeah, the Saria is going to be fine because once young Senya takes an extra turn, Saria jumps up in combat readiness, and then we should all be safe here from our opponents. The extinction on the Jenua, we're going to try this on the Notos. Hopefully it's not another Proof of Valor Notos, I don't know. If he is, then so be it, I guess. You can actually run Jenua on Summer Photogenic, which was last year's Summer Artifact, Summer Hwayoung's Artifact. It's pretty good. It is actually not bad because it helps you ignore damage sharing effects. You won't get the extra benefits of like Wind Rider's additional attack buff, where you like after you kill one of your opponent's units, then you get to have like a 40% extra on top of the 20% attack buff, right? In this case, Jenua actually got debuff. Most Harsetis are running quite a bit of effectiveness, so we do have to be careful about that. So it's fine though. We're not expecting this Jenua to resist debuffers like Harseti. It's going to be very difficult to do. Even 200 resist units have difficulty doing that. But let's see what our team is managing to pull off here with Saria going. Nice, good damage, very good damage actually. Let's go for a skill 2, see if we can put some lacerations on some people. There we go, huge. Unfortunately, Yoha cleanses, but we're going to be able to gonna be able to fully reset this Notos, so we can kind of ignore him for now. Our main goal is to ignore the Notos for as long as possible, and then let's see if we can go for a skill 3 onto the RB. Now, the skill 3 is what carries the extinction, by the way. We don't have a rage buff here with like Emma Politis helping us out, so I'm hoping that the skill 3 is enough. I know Yolha's probably on some sort of damage sharing artifact. I wasn't paying attention earlier. Oh, there we go. Barely managed to scrape by there. But yeah, no Soulburn on the skill 1, which means that no greater attack buff, but we had an attack buff from the Saria, which was enough for us to kind of squeeze out the kill there. If you were running a full damage Jenua, definitely would be better. It would definitely be better than the damage that I'm pulling off right now, but still, we're doing a pretty good job, I'd say. Alright, so Jenua should be taking another turn soon. There we go. Dual attack with the young Senya. Fantastic. Her skill 1 does that. Let's see if Flitica does the same, although... Oh, there we go. Even though Yolha's gonna go down regardless. But yeah, there we go. Pretty clean, guys, right? Pretty clean. Would have been cleaner, would have been safer against the RB if we just had more damage, but this Jenua is kind of built more for RTA purposes. Moving on, guys, we have another match on our hands, this time finding another random Harsetti in the wild, but I think this is a perfect time for us to test Jenua against revivers, right? We've been doing it, but there's an Arbiter Vildred and a Genesis Raz this time around, and a little bit of annoying Setsuka on the other side, which is why I'm bringing in the Xeno on my team here to help reduce the evasion of my opponents by 50%. Jenua, unfortunately, doesn't have anything that helps him hit the opponent 100% of the time, so evasion is still going to be kind of good against him. He loses out on a lot of his damage potential if he misses his attacks, right? And so Aram's going to be in here to help give us an immunity buff for everybody, so Harsetti cannot stun or strip everyone's buffs here, and Empyrean Ilanov with this immunity buff is going to be huge against this Genesis Raz, so he can't seal us, no collapse, and Jenua should be able to keep himself alive here with his healing on his extra attack. I don't know if Harsetti's going to proc him immediately. We do start with a bit of a barrier. Let's see how much damage this Harsetti ends up doing, though. And the turn order seems like it is kind of decent in our favor. Oh, very nice. Jenua actually does resist, so you can see he has a 3-turn immunity buff still. The entire team actually resists here. Very nice stuff. I will try to go for... I could try to go for a skill 1 here, so give Xeno the extra buff. That would be okay. Let's do it. Let's go for the Soulburn. There's the Frostbite. We get the Rage buff and everything, so let's go for a skill 3. Hopefully this hits everybody. Oh, very nice. It does. Very cool. Very cool. So we do get the Rupture onto our opponents, which is going to help us take them down. I am going to go for a skill 3 now, though, and I think I'll go for it into the... Ooh, Genua's going to be going. That is very nice. I'm going to be hitting the Arbiter Vildred. Even if he counters here, it is fine. Yeah, even if he counters here, it should be fine. Mostly because I want to weaken him a little bit. There we go. We do miss, but there is no like damage mitigation on his side, so we should be okay. There we go. Jenua can now come in, and he does have a rage buff, but the vigor buff does give him a little bit of extra attack. Let's go in with the skill 3 now. We don't have an attack buff or anything, but with vigor, I think it should be enough to finish off the Arbiter Vildred with no damage mitigation. Oh, I was wrong, guys. Okay, definitely probably should be running him on a bit more damage, but it's okay. We'll see if he can kind of survive in the long run here. He does get the rage buff now, but Aram does get to push my Jenua back up, so we could do this. Pop another skill 3, right? Get rid of the Arbiter Vildred now once and for all. I don't think we buff or anything here. I think we just rip the skill 3. Unfortunately, it's based on healing's based on damage dealt. Oh, there we go. We heal up back to full, basically. He had no more evasion there. We got lucky with the Xeno helping us out a little bit. Now, here's the thing. Do we go down to the Genesis Raz? We might. We already had our Immortality procced. Stealth only halves the damage that we take. We do end up surviving, which is kind of a miracle. Okay. And it looks like we're going to be okay to hit this Setsuka, right? Because the Xeno's helping us a little bit. And now we get a giant barrier onto the Jenua, which is also good. Setsuka puts the debuffs on Jenua because, well, he has lower HP than the Setsuka, which is a little bit unfortunate. But should I go for the Setsuka here? Should I go for a little Soulburn shenanigans? We're blinded, so we have a 50-50 shot at missing here, which kind of sucks. I think it's probably best that we don't Soulburn. I'm just going to go for a hit here. We do miss. She is going to counter. That hurts a little bit. Ooh, Lethal Whisper. She gets to heal twice. Okay. Ilanov gets to go. She won't miss here. But my opponent still counters. Wow, she's on a counter set, I guess. That's not good. Wow, this could be the end here when Setsuka procs against us. Guess we just go for it, right? We just go for it. Do we try to... Soul Burning doesn't really matter for the stun. 35% chance. If we miss, we miss. Go for it anyway. Oh, we got lucky with a little dual attack. Actually, she didn't counter anyway, so I think we would have been in a pretty decent spot there. Let's go ahead and use our Soul Burn here onto the Harsetti. Nice. Can we land another hit onto this Genesis Roz? No, we don't, but we do heal up quite a bit, though. We're back in stealth, so this is nice. We have another chance against the Genesis Roz. Alright, he's gonna skill 2. Empyrean Ilanov should be okay. Yeah, there we go. We're fine. We're still tanking this. Nice little stun there. Okay. Jenua unfortunately doesn't have his skill 3 ready. Yeah, he does not. So it's fine because the Genesis Roz actually lost his buff there anyway. So looks like maybe damage Jenua the way to go. I still am a little reluctant to take him off the effect res though, even though we're just fighting every debuffer in existence right now. Okay guys, we got a weird one on our hands here because at one hand we do have 3 very slow tanky knights, which is where Jenua kinda shines, but on the other hand there's an RNL that can easily just proc the immortality of Jenua and kinda strip him because she gets free 100 effectiveness for no reason whatsoever. And there is an Empyrean Ilanov, and she has defense penetration resistance, which means that Genua's not really going to be doing that much damage with his extra attack or his skill 3, right? His skill 1's still going to hit quite hard, but not the greatest scenario to be in. This is where Shepherd the Dark DN kind of comes in here. We're going to get Zio to Soulburn at the start of the match. He's going to be faster than the RNL. This will proc the Shepherd the Dark DN. We're going to get Immortality. Hopefully, we're going to be able to strip any immunity buffs my opponent has before we go in and seal everyone. And then Lady of the Scales is going to be here, one, for the damage sharing, so Jenua doesn't get destroyed immediately by this RNL, but 2, she also, you know, synergizes really well with the Shepherd of the Dark DN, the front line here. I almost never use Lady of the Scales, but with swishier DPS units, it just makes too much sense. It's why every cleaver in the world currently uses Lady of the Scales, right? So why not just jump on that little bandwagon here and see what all the hype is ourselves. Let's go for the skill 3 on the Shepherd of the Dark DN. This should seal everyone, hopefully push them back. Oh, we actually get rid of the RNL, which I didn't expect. Guess I didn't really need Lady of the Scales in the end, which is kind of nice. Let's go for a skill 3, kind of push up our team. Jenua is going to be in this weird situation, though, where he is going to just kind of sit here. He's not going to really need this skill 3 immediately. In fact, it's probably best to just Soulburn your skill 1 first. It's probably what I should have been doing in the past matches as well, with like those Arbiter Vilgid situations, right? If I'd gotten the greater attack buff first, it might have been better. It only lasts for a turn though. If you have like a lingering attack buff for the team, then it would be ideal, right? You get the greater attack buff. It replaces any lingering attack buff like previously with the Saria, giving the attack buff to Jenua, and then I probably could have gone in with a skill 3. But anyway, with that aside, let's go ahead and take down this boss Arunka so we can try to deal some damage to the other units here. Let's try to go for the Estelle, and we're really right now just kind of doing a little beatdown with our Shepherd of the Dark DN. Are we going to be able to lap around our opponent, actually? The Empyrean Ilanov. Uh-oh, the Empyrean Ilanov here. It's not looking too good for us right now. Can we seal, or not seal her, can we fear her? We can fear her. Very nice. Okay, so that's actually going to be pretty good because I do want to try to get this Empyrean Ilanov down. Probably stop hitting the Estelle. She can't counter us anyway. So let's go for this. We'll hit here because my goal is to use the Jenua into this. So let's go for Jenua, skill 3, into the Empyrean Ilanov here. There we go, easy peasy. And then we go for the skill 1. But yeah, it's pretty cut and dry. I don't know, it doesn't feel like Jenua has really changed all that much from what he used to do, and for that reason, I don't know if he's actually gonna be like super viable moving forward into like the next season, the meta, right? Okay guys, we have another match on our hands, this time against something you might find in RTA. We have Setsuka along with Perfume Bibulus and Estelle. This is going to be quite the tanky team. Let's see if Jenua can actually do something here. Harsetti is also there, which is a little bit annoying, forces us to kind of go for an AROM type of situation. We could go for a young Senya Saria here, which I think could be decent. But let's give this team a shot. We have Xeno to decrease the evasion of my opponent's team, and we have ML Politis for the rage buffs as well to keep Genua's damage a bit more consistent. Let's see what we can make from this here. Gonna try to go for the Estelle first, I think, because the damage sharing is gonna be a little bit too much, and we're currently not running Summer Photogenic. So there's the skill 3, that is perfectly fine, and AROM does give us a Vigor buff, which does help a little bit in terms of damage. Unfortunately, AROM is going first, so we can't really... I mean, we can push up the Jenua, but do we want to push up the Jenua? I don't think so. I'm going to go for a skill 1 there, and Xeno gets to go. I do have a 100% hit chance against something like Setsuka, which means I could go for her here. Might as well just go for her, why not? Do a little bit of damage. Okay, nice little dual attack from the ML Politis. Let's go for a skill 3. Now ML Politis serves to cut the fighting spirit gains of Estelle and the Setsuka here as well. So pretty nice. We're going to push up the Jenua. Unfortunately, Perfume Bibulus pushes up with the Veritas. She's gonna skill 3, but we do have immunity on the Jenua, so we should be okay. Everybody else, though, not so okay. Let's go for the Estelle. Greater attack buff. Oh, see, there we go. As long as you take out evasion and damage sharing from the equation, I think you guys see the damage is actually pretty decent on the Jenua. We've just been fighting evasion units and damage sharing units, which is a little unfortunate. I kind of wish that Jenua ignored damage sharing, but I guess that's what Summer Photogenic, the artifact, is for. Let us go for the Setsuka now, right? Go for that. Jenua attacks here, pretty good damage. Okay. Unfortunately, she's going to skill 3, which means we get blinded. The good thing is, our immortality hasn't been procced yet, in which case it does proc here. I'm hoping we don't get debuffed after we get this cleanse. That would be really bad. Okay, there we go. No extra debuffs on me, so that's good. Okay, Setsuka's just gonna dual attack for no reason. Alright. So Jenua gets to go 2 more turns of rage buff. Let's go ahead and attack the Setsuka. Greater attack buff, boom, very nice. See, there's the damage, guys. There's the damage. No evasion, no damage sharing. And this is why he's actually pretty good. Still a situational unit. I don't think he's like a DPS you'd want to bring in all the time, everywhere, against every team. I think there are units that are better suited for stuff like that rather than him. So definitely want to keep that in mind. What do I want to do here? Who do I want to reset? Jenua, not really. I guess AROM's not really doing all that much. Let's go ahead and just push up the ML Politis so we can kind of get the rage buff and push back the Harsetti once again. I think that'd be kind of nice. We'll turn Psycho herself out of the blind. There we go. We'll go for the skill 3. I'll probably have Xeno just soul burn his skill 1 so we can get the... Actually, no, he already gets rage buff from this. I don't need to soul burn his skill 1. There we go. We get the defense buff, and we can just go for a skill 3. My opponent can't dodge even if we're blinded because of our passive. Oh wait, hang on. Wait a minute. Am I misunderstanding Xeno's passive here? Decreases evasion, but we had decrease hit chance. I guess it doesn't work that way, huh? Oh well, it's fine, because Jenua's still able to come in and finish off the Harseti. So here we see a better demonstration of Genua's like actual damage potential, but as you can see, still kinda niche, right? Hey guys, look what I found! Another Harseti defense team. That's right, this time with Perfume Biblis and a Yoha instead of something like an Estelle. There's gonna be a ton of reflect damage on this team because the Biblis and the Yoha kind of discouraging you to play super aggressively into this team comp. There's also an Arbiter Vildred, and he's kind of annoying, but I guess a still pretty decent test for us for the extinction on Jenua, right? In this case, I think Saria might actually just finish off the Arbiter Vildred before Jenua will be able to do anything, but we'll see. Harseti coming in with a bunch of debuffs here, but thankfully Jenua didn't get stunned. He cleansed the, I think, Unbuffable or something that was on him, and now he's gonna proc. So this is why building a little bit of effect res does tend to help, right? Let's go for the skill 3. Push up the team. There we go, Saria gets to go, and now we get to pop our skill 3. This will give everyone an attack buff, which is great, because then we can soul burn our Jenua, and we'll have a greater attack buff for, well, forever, as long as we keep attacking every turn with a skill 1. So there we go, we actually do finish off the Arbiter Vildred. Saria is still invincible, right? Everybody's invincible here, so Arby's gonna waste his skill 3. Beautiful stuff. And look, Jenua doesn't actually get blinded here, because Arby's aren't built with effect resistance, right? Or sorry, effectiveness. So the effect resistance on Jenua is pretty good in these cases where you don't get debuffed by random DPS units. Again, not advocating for everyone to run this. I just tend to gravitate towards effect res units when it comes to my account, but or effect res builds, right? Let's go ahead and take out the Perfumer Biblis. I think that's going to be kind of important for us to get rid of here. We'll go ahead and do that. There we go. Beautiful. Yoha's going to be just redirect provoking us. That's okay. I think the next unit we go for here is going to be the Yoha herself. So let's go for that. A lot of reflect damage coming in. Wow. We are hurting. That's for sure. Let's go for the Harseti. Ooh. Ow. Actually, that's not good. Okay. We're in a bit of trouble, aren't we? Look at this, guys. The Harseti is attacking. Jenua had his immortality procced. We're in a dangerous situation right now, because we do have the extra attack, but we could potentially die to like an Arbiter Vildred as well. Oh boy. Let us go for the Soul Burn onto the Harseti here. RB already revived. We don't need to try to extinct him or anything, but I'm hoping the extra attack comes in here. We got Wind Rider procced. There we go, we got rid of the Yoha. Actually, the extinction did matter here. There was a holy sacrifice on that Yoha, and we managed to avoid that. Beautiful stuff. Double-edged crescent means that Saria's gonna go down. Oof, actually, that's really bad. He got the Amopolitus too. Thankfully, Jenua is safe. Okay. And we are just gonna go for a skill 1 here. Come on, Jenua. There you go. There you go. After RB lost his evasion, finally gonna be able to hit him there. Yeah, I feel like evasion is just a little bit too much for Jenua to handle in most cases, but that's also kind of tough because that's like half the DPS units in the current meta. Okay guys, let's go ahead and jump into another match over here. This time around, trying our best against this Lady of the Scales team and Setsuka as well. Evasion and damage share, again, things that Jenua doesn't do too well against. One thing I've kind of realized though with testing him is that Jenua really doesn't do well in sustained matches. He has to really shine in bursts. And he's kind of akin to Aki, I would say, in that you just focus down a couple of units, take him out, and essentially that's all he needs to do. He just needs to sacrifice himself to open up plays for the rest of your team, right? And so I'm not sure how we can really utilize him in that regard here. Let's do our best, though. Do we want to reset Lady of the Scales is the question. I don't think so. I think we have to reset the Notos here, because otherwise we're just absolutely screwed. Lady of the Scales is going to push up, so yeah, the Laceration, unfortunately, is going to be kind of wasted. It's going to be cleansed, but we can't let Notos go, right? If Notos goes, we're we're done for. Genua's rage won't even do anything, and then we'll not even be able to get our immortality, right? So let's go for the skill 3 here. I'm gonna try to do my best to get rid of this Lady of the Scales if I can. I'm gonna go for a skill 3 on Xeno. He should have enough effectiveness to put Rupture on everybody. Okay, only a couple of units, all right. I kind of want to save the skill 3 for the Notos Extinction, but let's just proc the Lady of the Scales. She's about to go, so just do that. Good, we got the Radiance buff from the Ivana. That's really good. Let's go for the skill 1 here, try and take out the Lady of the Scales so there's no more damage sharing shenanigans. I know we already ignore damage sharing right now, but it should still be okay to get rid of her. Actually, at this point, I think I want to try to defense break either the... I think I want to try and defense break the Setsuka. Let's do that. Nice defense break. Nice damage from the Jenua there. That was random. We didn't dual attack with the highest attack ally. You just dual attack with a random ally there. But hey, not bad. Not bad in terms of damage there. Okay, let's go for the Lady of the Scales with the Ivana. Try and chip her down. Our sad, pathetic attempts to chip her down. We can go for the Notos. He has Rupture. I think I want to go for the Bellion, though. Try to get that Rupture proc. Nice Frostbite. Okay, we can go for a dual attack here. Let's see if we can get Jenua again. Nope, got the Xeno. That's okay. Counter attack coming out. That's fine, because it's actually finally procs our Jenua. And the other problem I see with the Jenua is that his rage buff is really conditional, right? So conditional, guys. It's kind of difficult to utilize him. Oh no. Okay, good. Because I wanted this extra attack to finish off the Notos there. See, no holy sacrifice, right? Beautiful stuff. The rage buff can only last 2 turns when you proc his passive, and I don't know if Jenua lives long enough to be able to see his passive again. Maybe we need to rethink Jenua moving forward. Maybe he shouldn't be this squishy DPS unit. Maybe he needs to be more bruiser-like to be able to stay alive. I'm not quite sure. Alright guys, finally found a Harsetti team here that doesn't have some sort of a damage sharing shenanigans teammate or like a Lady of the Scale stuff going on. We have some evasion and Notos, right? So I think this is okay for us to try and test Jenua again. We're gonna soul burn into the Harsetti, I think. It doesn't really matter if we hit or not. We just need the Shepherd of the Dark DN to proc so that we can strip our opponent's immunity buffs, and then we can try to push them back and seal them here. There we go, very nice. So let's go for the skill 3. Seal on Harsetti is actually huge because it opens up the door for our speed to kick in, and our opponents are running units that are all really slow, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and just skill 3 here. No need to soul burn. I think we should be pushing back most units. You can push back Notos when he's sealed, by the way. There you go, and they got a speed down, which is good. And now Jenua comes in, so I think Jenua can come in and we can try to attack the Notos. There we go. So that's one way of getting rid of someone with a holy sacrifice there, right? But a little too much setup, maybe, for just Jenua to do this when you could just come in with Hecate. You can come in with Little Queen Charlotte, by the way. Also newly buffed, same patch notes. You guys saw me use her in the other showcase video. She's just a lot more consistent. The fact that you can soul burn to get 100% hit chance, it feels, I don't know, it feels kind of weird, but like at this point, almost every DPS would just benefit from something like that. It's kind of wild. And as you can see, we don't even need Jenua to finish off the rest of the team, because once you have this many debilitating debuffs on them, it doesn't really matter who you bring as a damage dealer, right? As long as they have Extinction or something in their kit, even Hecate would have been super good against that Notos there. Okay guys, so let me know what you think of Jenua in the comments section down below now that you had a chance to kind of see him in action. What do you think? Did his buffs kind of make a difference? Or do you think he kind of stayed relatively the same as he always has been, that no real issues have been corrected with his kit and kind of how he performs in the meta? If you're asking me, I'm kind of leaning towards the latter, where Jenua, even though he's an incredible damage dealer, he does actually still have a lot of problems with defense penetration resistance in the form of Empyrean Ilanov. Ilanov isn't as popular as she once was, but I don't think that's gonna allow Jenua to shine, otherwise he would have been seeing play in the last few months regardless, right? Currently, I feel like most DPS units, they are gravitating away from the kind of immortality meta that we saw a while back with like BBK, with Amiki and Jenua himself being part of it, and we're seeing a lot more damage dealers just focusing on evasion, right? ML Bologna, Arbiter Vildred, we have Setsuka, and the other side of things, we have units that just don't take close to lethal damage. They made the change for Jenua to absorb a lot of the damage that he was dealing as HP as sort of a way to mitigate the fact that he needs to basically essentially die in order to get immortality. But you have units like Tori, you have units like Spirit Eye Celine that have that kind of damage limit effect in their kits, right? That don't let them take more than 51% of their max health as damage, which is, I think, better than what Jenua has here. I know you can't really put that on Jenua because it's counterintuitive to his kit. He gets the rage buff from proccing the immortality when he falls below half health, but that condition itself is just kind of weird to work around. You only get rage for 2 turns. You essentially get 2 turns to try and deal as much damage as possible. He doesn't deal that much damage against evasion units, sucks against defense penetration units, or defense penetration resistance units, and damage sharing completely like destroys the damage output that he has. So while Jenua could be a way to maybe burst through like a boss Arunka or something like that, there's still better options out there, I feel, and I don't know, I feel like this balance patch for Jenua seems a little lackluster. Just showcasing him off today felt like really rough, it was really choppy. I was losing a lot of matches as well, just I thought was due to stuff like RNG and things, but no, he just struggles. Even on something like an effect res build like this, even with warfare rules giving him some additional effect res or giving him additional effect res through imprints, I still don't think it's going to be enough. Debuffers nowadays, even things like DPS units like RNL, just get free 100% effectiveness, right? We see that with Tidal Rift Elvira, we see that with Rihanna and Luciella, and so I think it's going to be a bit of a problem for him to find a spot for himself, carving a niche for himself in the meta. And so, unfortunately, I think his buffs were kind of a dud. But if you disagree with me, if you have other team comps or thoughts about him, let me know in the comments down below so I can continue testing him out. Gonna keep him on this build and see what I can do with it in RTA moving forward in the future. But thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.